Please go ahead. Please go ahead with the program. Thank you. You're live. You're now live. Go ahead.
All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tochukwu Raphael. I'm a broadcaster in the diaspora digital media. And today is a very great day because we are opening a discussion for everybody in Nigeria, the people of the grassroots. We call the program COPDEM People's Parliament. This program was meant to create a platform where Nigerians can come together, put heads together, and discuss social and political issues in our nation. So in this program, this is the very first time that we are doing this program. And we are starting with a critical issue at the moment, which is Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and Akpabio, by the Senate President. You know, for quite some time now, they have been stuck in a conflict. But the topic, right away, what we are going to discuss is the recall process of the senator. So, the Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and Senator Gospel Akpabio saga has been a highly publicized and contentious issue in Nigerian politics. But let me give a background, a short background of what we're going to discuss here. The controversy began on February 20th, 2025, when Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan's seat was changed during a plenary session, sparking a heated exchange between her and the Senate President. And the situation escalated when Natasha submitted a petition to the Senate accusing Akpabio of sexual misconduct, or sexually harassing her. However, the petition was thrown out, and Akpoti-Uduaghan was subsequently suspended for 6 months on allegations of gross misconduct and unruly behavior. Now, Akpabio denied the sexual harassment allegation, stating that he never assaulted the senator, insisting that it was based on parliamentary ethics and constitutional guidelines. The controversy took an international turn, a conference in New York, accused of the same allegations of sexual misconduct. So in response, the Interparliamentary Union said that they would look into the matter when they had, listened to the other party. So in response to Akpoti-Uduaghan's complaint, the Senate wrote a letter to the IPU, that is the union, reiterating that her suspension was due to misconduct and not related to sexual harassment allegations. And the letter also refuted claims of misinformation and false narratives surrounding the suspension. Now, this controversy has sparked widespread debate and condemnation from various sectors, various rights groups and organizations, over 300 women's groups under the umbrella, the women, Women Festo or whatever. So various groups in the constituency are calling for, currently, calling for the senator's recall. They want to recall her. But the issue here is that what is the legality? What is the legality surrounding the senator's recall process? Now, are there constitutional bases, or are there impostors? Are there the justice?
I can't hear anyone.
Due process, please take over from him. Let's talk 3 months. Please continue.
Hello, can someone hear me?
Yes.
Go ahead, please. Network affected him. Please go ahead from where he stopped. Due process. Please go ahead.
It seems there's a network challenge. Okay. While we await the DDM to come on board, I will have to continue with the session. Welcome you all to the COPDEM People's Parliament. It's a pleasure to have you on board, where we come together to have a robust discussion on political and social issues as it affects our people. So I'll be taking as it relates to Senator Natasha of the Kogi Central Senatorial District.
Can you see red meter?
Natasha, as we all know,
check for network.
Has been in a mix of claims of sexual harassment, allegedly, by the Senate President, Mr. Godswill Akpabio.
Everything in small letters. E7S, ETU, N24.
So, sorry, we're trying to get across to some of the network challenges we're facing. Mr. Kevin, Tochukwu, is anyone there? Can you confirm you're hearing me, please?
Go ahead, you Professor, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. This is Chokube speaking. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Let me rejoin and see what's the reality.
Due process, please go ahead. We can hear you.
Whether it is on cap lock, I said everything.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I believe you can hear me. Sorry for that hiccup. Let me formally invite the Kogi National Team. Mr. Rankomsa, are you there? Can you please take over from there, or should I go ahead? Or can you come in, sir?
Well, Kevin, it's nice. Can you hear me, please? Am I audible?
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yeah, you are.
Thing is, well, it's a parliament, so we're like the COPDEM Senate or COPDEM National Assembly, and not only but the people's voices. So
yes,
let me
quickly, Mr. Pan, let me just quickly read the overview again, then you continue from there. I don't think Tochukwu completed it. Can I do that, then you continue? Or you want to let go ahead?
That would be an excellent idea.
Okay, let me quickly do that. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me quickly give an overview of what we are supposed to discuss today. The Senator Duagan, Senator Natasha and the Fabio Saga. Senator Natasha Akoti and Senator Goswell Fabio Saga has been a highly publicized contentious issue in Nigerian politics. Please, can you mute your mic, please? Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, the controversy began on February 20th, 2025, when Senator Akoti Duagan's seat was changed during a plenary session at the Senate, sparking a heated exchange between her and Senate President Akpabio. The situation escalated when Akoti Duagan submitted a petition to the Senate accusing Akpabio of sexual harassment. However, the petition was thrown out, and Akpoti Duagan was subsequently suspended for 6 months on allegations of gross misconduct and unruly behavior. Akpabio denied the sexual harassment allegation, stating that he has assaulted assaulted women. The Senate also defended its decision to suspend Akpoti Uduaghan, insisting that it was based on parliamentary ethics and constitutional guidelines. The controversy took an international turn when Akpoti Uduaghan addressed the United Nations Interparliamentary Conference in New York, alleging injustice and harassment from the Senate leadership. The Interparliamentary Union, IPU, assured her that it will take necessary steps to address her grievances, but stressed the need to hear the other side before making any official pronouncements. In response, Akpoti Uduaghan complained the Senate, in response to Akpoti Uduaghan's complaint, the Senate wrote a letter to the IPU reiterating that her suspension was due to misconduct and not related to the sexual harassment allegations. The letter also refuted claims of misinformation and false narratives surrounding the suspension. The controversy has sparked widespread debate and condemnation from various women's rights groups and organizations. Over 300 women's groups under the umbrella of Womanifesto condemned Akpabio's remarks, describing them as sexist and misogynistic. They demanded an immediate and unequivocal apology from Akpabio. The saga has also led to a vote of confidence in Akpabio's leadership by the rubber stamp Senate, with the Senate reaffirming its support for him despite the controversy. However, the issue remains a contentious one, with many calling for a thorough investigation into the allegations and a more robust response to addressing sexual harassment and misconduct from the Senate. Over to you, Mr. Pamsa.
Yes, it's an interesting situation that unfortunately we find ourselves. The Nigerian National Assembly is deliberately getting popular for all the wrong reasons. First of all, from the beginning, my own thinking is, in every developed clime, and in at least even within African countries, when there is an allegation as grievous as that, the first thing is that whole process comes to a halt as long as it is directed towards the Senate president, party to the accused. But right now, in this very instance, he was the very person accused. It is expected that he recuse himself, as in it is common law. Everybody who has gone to any form of tertiary institution where you have to do law, whether it is medical law, business law, contract law, whatever your field, there's a level of law that you need to know. It's 101. You cannot be a judge in your own court. The allegation is against you. The most moral thing to do is to step aside. It is not that you are no longer the head of the Senate. It's not that you are no longer number 3 in Nigeria. But when it comes to an issue where you are the one accused of doing wrong, in all honesty, the person steps down for the duration of that particular case and let the deputy Senate president continue. They are your colleagues, they can do paddy after. But it is so disgraceful. Honestly, I am ashamed, and a lot of Nigerians are, that the person should still remain on the seat with the gavel and still presiding over a case that he is the one that is the accused. It doesn't work that way. Nowhere in the world. From that very point, or everybody in the world, irrespective of political party affiliation, irrespective of tribe, irrespective of constituency, knows that that is a foul move and there was a rat cooking somewhere. We should have grown past that. And anything, any move that is taken with Akpabio still presiding over that case should be null and void. Not forgetting the court, Natasha had taken the case to court. There was a court order on it. Once it has gone to the court, why proceed with the case? Are you bigger than the court? The Senate is founded on the Constitution, and it is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And there is nothing that should, no matter their house rules, quote and unquote, if the house rules go against the Constitution supersedes. It's sacrosanct. So it is just clear that the entire process from the word go wasn't right. Which is a bigger issue here? Is it misconduct for protesting against the seat you have been given, or sexual harassment, and a plethora of other cases, suppression of the women's voice in the parliament, suppression of the constituency where she comes from, which is more grievous? Then you went ahead to say it is misconduct. How many people have been charged with misconduct in our National Assembly? And how many of them have been given that degree of punishment? But even if a person is a thief or an armed robber, he's not giving that kind of punishment. He's taken to a correctional facility. But this is a case where, as far as I'm concerned, the case was not even heard. As if sexual harassment is nothing. The case was not heard. As if the continuous denial of giving a constituency a voice is nothing. She was voted in, for goodness sake. So, well, I think I will stop here for others to contribute. But from my own perspective, once the process is not distinguishing, is not excellent, the entire thing can never be excellent. So they missed it right from day one by actually focusing on misconduct, where we have seen in the past, our First Lady had to voice out and defend herself. She was not treated that way. While he, the same Senate President, Akpabio, had an altercation. His own was almost physical, because he's a man and he's huge. And it's all in the public media. It's the same issue of change of seat. How many months did they suspend him? How many of his aides were taken away from him?
Look at that gravity of punishment and no salary. This is almost childish. It is laughable, would have laughed, but it is also despicable that we, as Nigerians, have this class of people as our representatives. Are they really representing me? Did my senator vote? Did my senator give that yes vote? We want to see. And that brings me to the issue of what's wrong with their digital voting device. This is a case that requires that you have two-thirds in, well, let me not go in there yet. So how many of them actually agreed to it? The House of Reps were looking for a head count, and they silenced the guy, the representative who was speaking. Do we have the quorum? Do the quorum first, then you can continue proceedings. Anyway, Kevin, let me stop here because I believe there are others on the parliament who may have one or two things to add to it. But as far as I'm concerned, right from the one, our Senate have acted in a disgraceful manner, leaving the real crux of the matter and attending to frivolous issues with very heavy high-handed punishment.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Pam. I think we'll go ahead. I think the co-hosts, they are all here, and due process, you can go ahead, but I think it's a Q&A session. So let's hear from one or two persons on what's been going on with this particular issue. But first, let's also hear from other members of the co-host panel. Chikube, you are there. People says you are there. And if any other person from the co-host wants to speak, you can speak. But if you also want to feel like speaking on this particular issue, you can also raise up your hand and talk. This is the parliamentary discourse. So let's hear from you. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, Kevin. Oh, can I speak?
Okay, Dr. Bielu. Okay, you want to? Okay, Dr. Bielu, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for this session. I'm not saying anything other than what has been said and what others would say as well. My position here is this gives credence to what we are trying to do to change the formation, composition, and membership of National Assembly. Am I audible? Yes.
Your network, please. Can you readjust to see if all right, it's better.
Please,
now.
We can hear him. Please go ahead.
We can hear him.
Okay, thank you. Yes, it gives credence to this effort we are trying to put together to change the composition of the National Assembly. We all know very clearly, unequivocally, that not up to 1 or 2% of the present membership deserves to be there. If we scream from here to tomorrow, from Jerusalem to Jericho, to change the mindset of a thief, it is too late in their life of a thief to become a saint, unless by divine intervention. We should therefore start a very aggressive recruitment process to get clean hands, clean minds, pragmatic individuals that have one purpose and one purpose only: to serve Nigeria. These bunch of people you see there can never deliver justice anywhere. Therefore, please, I've been screaming about this in any platform I am. We need to change the membership of the National Assembly. This is a clear case. This is a clear campaign issue. A very clear campaign issue for ADC, for any party to go out there, fish out people, good individuals who are not politically aligned, but who speak up. We know them everywhere. Beg them, bring them out, show them the evidence why their presence counts. Nobody should sit on the fence anymore. We need to rescue Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bielu. I think I saw Chikube trying to speak. Chikube, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible enough?
Very audible. Continue, Chikube.
Okay. In fact, just like the two great speakers have spoken, they really did justice to the topic. I would like to come in from, my own perspective regarding the Senate, regarding respect for women's voices and rights, and then rejecting selective justice, and restoring public confidence in leadership. So, yeah, the recent political conflict, I call it political conflict, between Senator Natasha Recall and the Senate President Godswill Akpabio has indeed raised serious concerns about justice, gender equity, and the parliamentary ethics in Nigeria. This is the dust that everybody is right now under in this country regarding this mess of the National Assembly, And so I will run straight into what I feel should be done immediately. Whether the Senate is going to listen to what we are saying or not, it has to be said. The Senate has to uphold the dignity of the Senate, because now the dignity of the Senate has been robbed in the mud. Regardless of political affiliations, the Nigerian Senate must not be reduced to a battleground for personal vendetta. So here I want to advise the Senate of this country to uphold the dignity of that chamber, the dignity of the red chamber. It's just very disgraceful that among many countries in Africa and many countries in the world, Nigeria has always been known for notoriety, mess of constitutional rights and privileges. And so I want to talk about respect for women's voices. In Nigeria, we lack that culture of respecting women's voices and rights. And see, it has played out in the Senate in a very top cadre of, a political echelon of this country. In communities, in kindreds, you see rights of women being stampeded upon, and now it has been taken to a well-respected echelon of this country, of political landscape. Allegations of harassment or misconduct should never be dismissed outright. Yes, Natasha has, leveled her allegations. Just like the first speaker spoke, it was expected of the Senate President to have stepped aside, allowed his deputy to take over and address the matter, just for the sake of giving respect to that chamber, to the office of Senate, and of course to the office of the Senate President. But you see, instead of doing that, it was the other way around. How can someone be a judge in his own case? Is it ever done anywhere? And now in Nigeria, we have a situation where someone is a judge in his own case. What do you expect? And so I want to talk about rejecting selective justice. Suspending a senator over a dispute, particularly one involving allegations of harassment, should not be rushed without proper investigation and fair hearing. You know, this case was treated with a rush because the agenda, the kitchen cabinet agenda was to oust the poor woman. You know, I hope that the Senate would by all means revisit this agenda. I don't know how possible it is, but it is possible. By the constitution of this country, it is possible. I may not be able to quote it, but then they should be able to revisit this agenda and take the right perspective, and so restore the dignity of the Red Chamber. Restoring public confidence in leadership. This is where I want to end it. If the Senate could revisit this matter, I believe Nigerian politics will be seen to move beyond, you know, personality clashes and focus on real government issues. You know, so here is where I want to bring it to an end. You know, to stop it and then give others the microphone to continue. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chikubi, for those inside thoughts from you. Let's hear from someone else.
Okay, I think I want to.
Okay, please continue from there to Chiku. Go ahead, please.
All right. I'm sorry for the truncation. I had a little network hitch, but it is now okay. All right, I have heard what Mr. Pambruan said, and also my co-host, Mr. Chekube. You have all spoken well. But I think we should, what the topic says is Natasha's recall process. So I think we should, initially, this case was subjected to only the sexual harassment, or should I say the conflict between Natasha and the Senate president. But now it has spiraled into something else. And I am happy that this program is all about the grassroots coming together to vent their spleen, to pour out their minds. You know, in Nigeria, I believe that the problem of Nigeria is not just with the government or with the leadership. The problem is also with the people themselves. Because as you can see now, we are now talking about not only the sexual harassment, but the recall process. And this recall process has to do with the people. I just told you in my introduction that some groups in the constituency of Natasha are driving this call for Natasha's recall or removal from this, the National Assembly. Now you ask yourself certain questions. All this while, I don't think since 1999, or should I say since 1960, if a lawmaker
Okay, yeah. I think he has a slight glitch there, but I think it's clear the issue of the recall process. So I don't know if you can confirm if you can hear me, because it looks as if Tochukwu has a small glitch on his own.
You're very audible, Mr. Pam. Very, very audible.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, so the recall process is one of the greatest poorly scripted local movie I have seen played out in a political landscape. Terribly scripted. First of all, why is it that they want to recall her? She was suspended in an illegal way. And my thinking would have been, if I am from that constituency in Kogi, we have voted for our representative, and you have suspended her in the most outrageous manner. We should have come out to say she should be reinstated. We should have gone to the streets, go to the House of Assembly, write a petition to the Senate, and demand answers, and demand revisiting of the issue so that it applies to at least minimal international standards that such cases require. But what we hear is a sequence of that script. Next, people should come out for palliatives. Is it to say that the years that Yahya Bello spent in office with sometimes salaries lasting for over a year in arrears without payment, was that to condition the minds of the great Kogi people to receive poverty and begin to operate beneath that level so that they will be available for sale at the cheapest rate, even when an injustice is done? No, I believe Kogi people know better. I strongly believe that. So now you say, come for palliative. They will come out, they came out for palliatives, and if you began to ask questions, those thumbs up to you who did that. We need to begin to ask questions. Ask not only what is happening within our constituency, but what is the Senate doing? And now they have pushed the bulk of this script to the table of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The recall process is one, first of all, you get signatures of a certain number of people, two-thirds from that constituency, then sent to INEC. INEC will now check, and it comes back to do a physical head count or a validation of the names. And then, but who do we trust? Do we trust the Senate or INEC? Is INEC not aware of the shenanigan that took place, that brought out the initial list? And Very Dark Man also had some videos. This is how the rest of the signatures were gotten. Is it that, like every political party or citizen of Nigeria can apply, or a group, a civil society organization can apply to INEC, get the list of voters within your constituency, then now begin to copy the names of those voters and then make up a 250,000 or so numbers in 2 days? Excuse me. Are we okay? And while the bulk of them, quite a good number of them, were on the streets protesting, were they protesting while signing the so-called list of people who are withdrawing, who are calling for the recall of Natasha? Look, we have to get these things right. We have to get to the point of saying enough is enough. You don't make Nigerians poor and then call them out for palliatives and then ask them to go and sign. They are signing palliatives and then you are using it for recall. It's a shame. And I believe that INEC should have checked that, revisited it. That they should not only check the authenticity of the signatures, because you can do that through forensics, and it's available. You have the money to do that. It's part of the INEC budget. And also, you don't just waste that money. Now, how do you verify the authenticity? Have you checked have you verified other videos on air, on social media, if they are true or not? Have you heard the voices of the Kogi people regarding the recall? Or you're just working with a list that somebody is sending? So I believe that we have to get to the point of making a choice. Because those people who are actually signing that we saw purportedly the names and sending to INEC that INEC got to later are Nigerians. So sometimes we need to balance this kind of argument or thought line. There is no political corruption that happens without the participation of some members of the public. Call them thugs, call them mercenaries, but there are people who are ready for hire to do this dirty job. When will we get to the point of standing for just what is right? So suspend her for 6 months, then recall her, leave the place vacant so that you could put who? This is terrible. It is tearful. So we should stand up for what is right, because if we continuously allow such level of evil to go unquestioned, unchallenged, then we should not have any right to challenge the situation of the country, since we ourselves have been silent when injustice is perpetrated. Today is Natasha, tomorrow it's you. I think I'll just stop there. It is pathetic.
All right. Thank you, National Chairman, Mr. Rampan Jr. We appreciate your contribution all the way from Plateau at this inaugural session of the People's Parliament, proudly powered by COPDEM. So in addition to what you have highlighted, it's not just condemning the fraudulent recall process. We are equally calling for the prosecution. There should be an independent investigation into this matter, a forensic investigation to identify those who actually printed or signed this purported signature from Natasha's constituents. It should be verified, and they should be made to face the law. As a matter of fact, the Constitution stated it very clearly. For processes that has to go through in terms of activating a recall of a sitting senator, it's not just gathering different signature here and there. There have to be the addresses of this signature, the phone numbers, the emails of those who have actually endorsed purported recall. They have to be verifiable. And that is where INEC is stuck, that they cannot actually verify because there are very few phone numbers that were reflected in the purported recall signatures, that they cannot verify that the whole over 250 signatures were people whom they can confirm are from our constituency. So we are calling for an independent investigation into the matter and ensure that justice is served. Otherwise, this shenanigans is likely going to repeat itself in the nearest future. So we'll be moving the mic around again. Let's have input from the audience. Please, if you want to make contribution, feel free to raise your digital hand so that you can have your say. Thank you. Do we have anyone on the queue, please?
Yes,
If you
can you hear me?
All right, I can confirm. Go ahead, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and I thank you for convening this discussion, and I greet everybody on this call. My name is Comrade Zaka, and probably by 3 o'clock I will be going into another meeting. That was why I said I may need to, and thank you for giving me the chance. This is what I have to really say, starting with what has happened to Natasha now. But a lot of us have seen chronologies of events like this. My own is, I pray that Natasha survives it, because from all indications, the support is coming from different parts of across the globe. You know, legal support, social support, and probably even spiritual support. But it is my prayer that Natasha survives this. But something that is very, very clear in Nigeria and even across Africa and other places is there are banana peels. It is one thing to watch out for these peels. If not, you will slip off. Something that is very common about the current generation is we all believe, just like across the globe, the younger generation is numeric. The younger generation is intelligent, they are resilient, but sometimes they are very careless. And those areas are the aspects we need to watch out for. When traps are set for you, and in the quest, or because of your vibrancy, you overlook those traps. I'm telling you, sometimes the fall and the injury may be catastrophic. And those who will even set some of these traps for you, it is at the end they will discover that it will affect them. But when they're setting these traps for you, they wouldn't know. If you look at it carefully, some traps were set and Natasha fell in. But I'm happy that, like, when we meet and discuss like this, lessons are learned. Before Natasha, when people look closely, Ireti Kingibe, almost traps like that were set for her. People knew what was happening between her and the FCT minister. You could see clearly. But what made her to survive that was probably some level of maturity and wisdom. But for the younger generation, I pray that God will continue to give them that energy to continue, because they are those who will eventually lead Nigeria. But from time to time again, there is a need to consult with the elderly ones. I wish Ireti Kingibe and Natasha were very close. Probably Natasha wouldn't have fallen for these traps, and she would have also succeeded in exposing some of those dangers also. But the way and manner the traps were set, I can tell you she will have escaped it. I believe she will survive it, but a relationship with people like Ireti Kingibe and their likes will help a lot. And it's on both sides. Both sides, whether you're talking about males or females. And we're talking about leaders of tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your submission. First, let me correct an impression. It shouldn't look like maybe Natasha was stubborn or not consulting with anyone, because you cannot actually verify her level of consultation and what she has faced as an individual in the Senate. So let us not apportion blame at this stage, because a lot may have gone behind the scene without our knowledge. However, what is right is what is expected of every well-meaning Nigerian. We expect that Ireti, as a figure in the National Assembly, should be able to stand for justice, irrespective of her interaction with Natasha. What is important is that Natasha is being unduly silenced, and she was expected to have voiced out against that injustice, as well as the process. It's not just about Natasha, it's about the process. There's a common say, you can't be a judge in your own matter. It's as simple as that. Akpabio, even the way and manner her suspension was conducted, the voice note that was used for suspending her, all those are illegal processes. There should be a clearly spelled out procedure even in the National Assembly bylaw. There's a provision on how to go about it, not just that shenanigans that were done to silence her deliberately. And 6 months is uncalled for. There is no provision in the law that guarantees such a heavy
like I
sanction.
said, sir, those were the stupid traps They were planned. They were the stupid traps. Maybe you didn't understand when I was talking about Ireti Kingibe. They set things like that for Ireti. She escaped it. So I'm not talking, I'm in support of really what people are saying. But our girl, our sister looks very intelligent to have escaped those things. They were traps. All those things, those shenanigans we were talking, those were the things. You can still be there. We pray she survives it. And those were just the things I was talking about. I'm on the same side with you. They said more. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So can we have more contribution from the other audience? If you are. Tochukwu. All right, Mr. Oji Emmanuel. I don't know if I'm following the order.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Due process. Let me thank this August House and for convening this. Let me say that Nigeria is us, whether we like it or not. If we allow the idiots rule us, we will suffer exactly what we are going through. And obviously, Nigeria is down on its knee completely. So what you're seeing is just a clear symptoms of what it is. In 2023, we won the war, but we lost the battle. Because obviously, everybody knew that there was a clear revolution. But we couldn't sustain the momentum because there is a clique and there is a class of people who are both in government, in the judiciary, and in every aspect of the government. And they connived with the political class, especially those cabal, to put us on our knees. Our dear senator have not done anything wrong whatsoever because it's human. We have seen Akpabio done that in the Senate under Saraki. We've seen even worse situations than that did not warrant suspension or recall. But because every mind in that National Assembly that is contrary to what they are doing, you'll be marked out for dismissal, either outright dismissal or suspension. So that is what we are having. We've lost this particular administration. We've lost the opportunity. Well, the only thing I'm calling, in as much as we are making persuasions and making public statements on how this is not going right, it will never go right. Because tell me what is going right. Is it in the judiciary? Just think about it. So, but however, let us gather the momentum using this platform and others like it to look forward towards 2027. It is not possible that we can continue like this. But it's also possible if we decide to continue like this. I know a lot of my friends who were here before this 2023, they've all gone abroad. And they are still complaining from there because it can't be better. The only thing is that there are certain things that are guaranteed. But however, Nigeria could become better than what it is. Nobody else can do it for us. So I want to appeal to this house. We need to make our voice to be heard while we are pressing that investigation should be instituted against those people who have actually signed those signatures for her recall. We should also insist, and if possible by now, if not our group, any other group, apart from what Natasha is doing, should go to court. We should begin to put money, resources together, go to court against this. Because when our voice is heard, I am too sure because of international concerns and international sanctions, they will begin to rethink. But otherwise, this generation of leaders we have here in Nigeria, Oga, who can't do anything. They are cabals. They are wicked. They are devilish. Anything you can call them. That's my submission.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oji Emmanuel. We have more hands upstairs. Dr. K, if you can hear me, let's hear your comments.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for all the contributions. I will try and go straight to the point. First of all, is the suspension. It is totally wrong, and it is not just the length of the suspension. It's also about the manner they went about granting that suspension, especially when there's a court order. So Natasha went to court and got an injunction. And she was expected with the injunction to still attend the panel. It doesn't make sense to me that if I have a court injunction for certain action not to take place, then I will still be expected to attend that panel. So I just don't understand how our legislators, how they think. Now, I think that we are sparing the judiciary so much. These matters are constitutional matters. The issue of the suspension, does the Senate have the power to suspend an elected senator for 6 months? Does the president have the power to suspend a governor and deputy and state assembly and appoint administrator? These are constitutional matters that in normal democracy should take priorities in the court. They should determine these issues within weeks so that the society can move forward. Now, I don't know how many months or years. In fact, it's possible that before these things are determined, maybe 1 year or 2 years have gone. I think we are sparing the judiciary. We need to turn the torchlight really to judiciary. They cannot be respected when they are doing things that is wrong. Judiciary is there to protect the people. If they have failed, we should stand up and say they have failed and demand in very strong terms that things must change. Even this issue of the recall, clearly there are issues around, maybe impersonation, forging signatures. The security agencies are watching. You go to judiciary now, they will ask for evidence. How do you manufacture this evidence? Did they expect you to manufacture evidence? There are certain things that are, that should be very clear. Yes, of course, they should follow rules of court and rules of evidence. But I just think that, like what we saw in 2023 election, it's just becoming really ridiculous. So something has to be done. What we are doing now is good. I think we also need to write to the Senate and ask them to, to reconsider, because this thing is really, they think they are sort of dealing with Natasha with the recall and all that. But the reality is that harassment allegation is still hanging on the Senate and is bringing really a shame to the country, internationally at least. And I think we should also consider whether we should also write to these other authorities, embassies and all that, for whatever it is worth. They might not do anything, but at least the little we can do. One of the things that I think this regime has really been able to capture the people is the fact that people can no longer freely express, themselves either in communication or even in assembly. Even during military regime, we can arrange 1 million march. Now, with poverty, with threats from security agents, this is something that we should really close, the country really, until they are able to deal with it. But I'm sure if you mention about rally and all that, people will run away, and some people cannot afford to even come out. So it's really a shame, but the little we can, I think we need to stand firm. We need to stand with Natasha. We need to make our voice strong, and we need to really put our judiciary in the limelight. They cannot be justice and all that if they are really doing injustice. I think I'll yield the mic. Thank you.
Much, Dr. Okay. May I call in the next person? Chachule Dore. If you can hear me, speak on. Mr. Chachule Dore. Please, there is some noises in your background. If you can reduce that noise, please, or you go to somewhere else.
You might invite another person, Mr. Tochukwu.
the conflict between the Senate President Gospel Akpabio and Senator Natasha Uduaghan, especially as regards the current situation where Natasha's recall process is being done, but the problem now is the members of the constituency allegedly signed the recall papers. Are these genuine? Are these legal or what? So we are still talking about it. If you have some comments or suggestion or question, the floor is yours to raise them.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, I was not in a noisy
up.
place, so I don't know what happened. Thank you very much for this group, which I really appreciate. But one thing I will bring on, we Nigerians, we will all gather in a place, argue, say, oh, the government is bad there and there. And by the time stipends is being given to some people, between us, there'll be a divided home. And these elites, they've already capitalized on that to work with people that are hungry. Why am I saying this? Natasha, where she came from, we knew how the government, that is the governor, Yaya Bello, fought her, did everything, and at the end of the day, she became a victorious in the election. Okay, now, if we all understand what this president is trying to do is to make it one man state, in the sense that all states should be APC. And if we sit down and just start deliberating, I don't believe we will go anywhere. This country needs a revolution. We have to stand up firm, because if we should go back, like during the NSAS, I participated during the NSAS. The NSAS actually made me left Nigeria to abroad, where I am now, because I was being looked for one way or the other, but thank God, for my life. People at the end of the day will gather, we agree on something. Inside us, we have a spy that will go back to this government and tell them our plans and everything, and they will come and destabilize us. Because what the president right now is trying to do, like what the other speaker said, how will a president take off a sitting governor? It's not heard anywhere in the world. This was a man that was elected by his people. It took him off. But what are we doing? Different groups are hanging out, talking here and there. No action. No action. I really appreciate us talking like this, airing our view. But we need action. We need action. If we say action, believe me, this week I will buy my ticket and I will be back in Nigeria, and let us have 1,000, that is 1,000-man march to the State House. Block these people, confront them, because Nigeria is ours. We don't have any other place. Where I am now is not my country, but I am here and I have peace of mind. The government listens to me, but I'm not a citizen. Where I'm a citizen in Nigeria, the government, they don't listen to me. They don't listen to nobody. Because why? By the time I complain, the next thing I will be summoned. SSS will come and pick me. Your family will say, oh, are you the only one there? Go and stay in the house. You understand? When Fela sang some songs some years ago, some of his songs, they are 40-something years of age. Some of his songs, they are 40-something. But the same thing is said is what is happening till date, till now, till tomorrow. We need a revolution. We have to stand with one voice, stand with one mind, and say, let's put an end to this. Talking about Akpabio, even the former vice president, he said it. He said he has gotten so many reports concerning Akpabio, but nobody took that case up. That shows that is the kind of man Akpabio is. That is the kind of man he is. So we have to do something. Sorry to like, that's great, into different part of this our conversation. But it pains me that my country, that is rich in humans, in natural resources, we are dying, we are suffering. Nigeria is the richest country in the world. Believe me, bro, it's the richest country in the entire world. But what are we doing? Nothing. Just a few people are getting richer, and while the other ones are getting poorer. We have to stand with one voice, come together in one unity. If we have to die, let us die. I was in NSAS. I knew how many bullets passed through me to people. I knew people that were standing by my side that died. What happened at NSAS? Today, NSAS is a closed chapter, is a closed case. Who sponsored the NSAS? Is this same president that people voted for because of 2 cups of rice? And now we are suffering another 4 years. Then 2027, this same old man wants to come and rule, bringing his son to rule in Lagos State. What are we doing, Nigerians? What are we doing? We have to stand in one unity. We have to believe that this country is going to change. And the only way is for us to come and make it happen in a revolution way. Other countries that has happened is revolution. And we have to come together and do this thing and make Nigeria work again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Churchill Edore. We need a revolution. That is the summary of your speech. But may I invite the next person who may like to make some comments. Samsung, I don't know if you can hear me. You can speak on, let's hear your comments. Let's hear your contribution. Anyone who wants to speak?
While we wait for the next person to speak, I want to add something. Tochukwu, can you confirm to hear me, please?
I can hear you clearly.
All right. I'd like to add something based on. All right. I'd like to add an explanation here. This program specifically is dedicated to Natasha's and the injustice she's made to face. That being said, it doesn't mean that as organization, COPDEM, we've been doing other things, and for those who are willing to partner or to join COPDEM, you can please check in the chat box. There's a WhatsApp link there that I posted. You can click that to join. We can take it up from there so that you'll be informed about some of the activities that we are undertaking in order to rescue Nigeria. Thank you. Tochukwu,
Thank you very much.
Take it up. Thank you.
Okay, I thank you very much, Priester. Please, if you have some questions, if you have any question or comments, let me remind everyone that this platform is not for some persons in the government. No, it is for everybody. We are here to deliberate. We are here to put our heads together to see how we can bring up some nice, hooky, wonderful suggestion on how to move the country forward. Remember that this program is championed by COPDEM, Coalition for the Protection of Democracy. Of course, the national chairman has been in this program for quite some time now. He has spoken twice in this since we started. So the main or the theme of the whole thing is to hear the people's voice, people's parliament. That's why it is called People's Parliament. It is not called the parliament of politicians. No, it is called People's Parliament for a reason. Therefore, it means that in the end, it is the people's will, the people's wish, and the people's progress will prevail, and not the wishes of a few oligarchs in power. So if you have any comments on how to move the country forward in respect to this particular issue, speak on. We have 3 main issues here. First one is sexual harassment, which we all believe that those stakeholders whom we believe or whom we hoped that will address the issue squarely, effectively, these are the same people who are brushing the issue aside in place or in with respect to the so-called misconduct of Natasha. But why we have something that is more serious, sexual harassment, they should address first. And that is the first issue. The second issue now is the recall process, the constitutional veracity, the constitutional rightness of the whole process. I have always believed that there are certain, beyond pressure groups and political parties, there are certain organizations amongst the grassroots that should drive the process of democracy in Nigeria. Before, earlier I was speaking, before network went off, I said that in the constituency of Natasha, we have some groups who are calling for her recall. And they rules, social or societal rules. But all these things are flimsy. All these things are flimsy excuses because we are talking about sexual harassment. So I feel that we are part of the problem. We as a people, we are part of the problem. Somebody who talked about revolution. Revolution is too extreme. There are certain things that we as a people should do. There are certain nonviolent processes, nonviolent actions that we as a people should first of all know. How many persons in Nigeria know about this recall process? How many of them? So I think we are democratically ignorant first. And that is why we are not moving forward in Nigeria. For me, I don't believe in the revolution now. It should be the last resort. There are certain things we should know as a people. We should be democratically sound. We should have some kind of knowledge about the system of politics or government we practice in Nigeria before we talk about violence or revolution. No. The people calling for Natasha's recall, these are people from the grassroots. They are civil society organizations. They are not politicians. So anyone who is calling for a revolution, I think it is too extreme for now. We should look into the sensitization and orientation of the people in the grassroots. They should know more about how to conduct what is a recall process all about. These are the things that we should be talking about. So anyone who is willing to speak on this matter, or you have any questions, you have any contribution to make, the floor is yours to do that. Anyone from my co-hosts, Mrs. E. Joma, if you have any contribution to make on this, let's hear your opinion.
I think
all right, are you still having some issues with your network and your sound? I can't hear you clearly. Mrs. Sijama. Okay, we are still on. Okay, somebody asked a question. This question is from, let me check. It's from Okebo Patrick John. He asked a question, in a public place, I can't, okay. How can the COPDEM, how can COPDEM support Natasha in this trying moment? How can COPDEM support Natasha in this trying moment? I think this question, since the national, okay. Christian.
The national chairman is still here, right? I think he should respond. Mr. Pam. Mr. Rampan,
all right.
Are you there?
Mr. Pamrang, sir, can you hear us?
Okay. Yes, I can. Okay, yeah.
All right.
The first thing I will just say, I thank you for that question. I think it also dovetails into what Churchill has said earlier. While there is discussion going on different issues affecting Nigeria, things we need to question, suggestions we need to make. The entire thing should be solution-driven. Quite right. So what can COPDEM do concerning Natasha? The first thing I think is the title of the program speaks for itself. It is the People's Parliament. I believe at the end of every session, the anchors would have put together suggestions that are made by the people and what should be the way forward. The good thing is we have some media persons here, and we could write officially for publication. And when the need arises, we could also write and present to the Senate, or present to the House of Representatives, or present to the executives. We are the people. This is our country. And sometimes we complain so much and do nothing about it. And sometimes we swallow everything hook, nail, and sinker that flows on the internet. But once we have facts and we really have the goodwill of Nigeria at heart, we are the people, right, and give solutions and profile solutions. So I think we would work on that by the end of this. Whatever solutions the people have brought together, suggestions have brought together, those that are actionable, we take the action. Those that will require us to approach the various arms of the people that are in charge of us, whether it's legislature, judiciary, or executive, then we approach them. They are from us. So thank you so much for that question. And I think that is a short response for now. Thank you.
All right, thank you, National Chair. In addition to what you have said, we already have an arrangement on ground. Since there is a claim of over 250,000 signatures from her constituency, COPDEM as a body and under the People's Parliament will be conducting on-the-street assessments. We will be getting feedback, their signature, their phone number, their addresses, and those who have email, why not? We'll get it incorporated. And for those who are against the purported signature that was sent to INEC, so that we'll get their opinion put together, and we'll send the feedback to INEC, to the judiciary, and of course to the National Assembly, that the process is flawed and that the people were deceived to come out to receive palliative, not for the purpose of recalling their dear senator. So that's a project that the COPDEM People's Parliament will be undertaking in the coming weeks. We'll be having representative travel down to her constituency to carry out this research work. And we are calling on partners to join COPDEM and be part of this great task of defending democracy in Nigeria. So the WhatsApp link is there. We encourage as many well-meaning Nigerians to join us. In case you are not there yet, hit the WhatsApp link and join COPDEM so that we can all flow along. Thank you. So do we have more responses, more people hands on that still want to ask questions? Okay. I don't think we have further people who want to ask questions. At this juncture, I want to thank everyone. Co-host, you have something else to say before we wrap up the program? Okay, Mr. Obode Charity, please have the mic. Can you please unmute?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Mine is a question. I'm asking, I was thinking that it's only the people that voted for her that have the right to recall her, or is it everybody in her constituency, whether they voted or not? Please, I want to be clarified about that. Thank you.
Yes, when it comes to recall, nobody can actually verify who voted for who. But what is important is that the signatures should come from her constituency, and it should not just be signature. It has to be accompanied with their phone numbers, their verified addresses, as well as their email for INEC verification to confirm that these are actually from her constituency before the recall process can be effective. Otherwise, it is null and void. I don't know if I answered your question.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, you did.
All right, thank you. I hope you are part of COPDEM.
Ondo State Chairman.
All right, all right. It's a pleasure having you on board. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, Tochukwu, you can take it off from here. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I thank everyone for, this is the first time we have had this kind of program. Maybe next time we'll have more persons join the program. But what I want to say is that this platform is very crucial for everybody, every Nigerian. It's very important that we have this kind of platform for us to brainstorm ideas that will trigger the people in government to work for the progress and not for the retrogression of the country. This case of Natasha is very sensitive. It is sensitive because it involves sexual harassment. Nigerians, this case has revealed that our politicians do not take serious matters seriously. They trivialize issues such as this, and it's a very shameful thing. But also it has revealed the complicit attitude of some of us among the grassroots who should be criticizing the governments. We are liaising with them. We are cooperating with them. That is a
Tochukwu, are you having an issue with your network? We barely hear you. I think we lost him. It's all right. Since we cannot hear from Tochukwu, I would like to appreciate everyone. Thank you for joining, and we'll be coming up with a program subsequently as it affects our people. It may be political, it may be social, it may be religious, whatever trending events that affects the generality of Nigerians. We are going to be bringing it up and invite the people to participate. It will be an audience participatory program, and your input will go a long way to reshape the future of this country. So this is our inaugural session at the People's Parliament, and we hope to do better and have a better deliberation subsequently. Thank you for coming out to be part of this event. We appreciate your time, and we encourage you to join COPDEM officially and participate with us. As a matter of fact, COPDEM is undertaking a lot of engagements, as whether being in politics or in social aspects. COPDEM is doing a lot. When you join us, you will get to know some of the ongoing events that we are spearheading as a corporate organization. Thank you for joining us, and God bless you all. Mr. Rampan Jr., I don't know if you have a closing remark. Do we still have him here? I think he has dropped. Okay. Mr. Agbaniko, do you have a closing remark for us, please?
Due process, just say thank you to everybody that came on this program and say it has been an interesting time and the discussion has been very fruitful. So thank you to everyone and see you some other time.
Thank you very much. And at this juncture, we want to thank you. And we are bringing the program to a close. God bless you all and have a wonderful day ahead.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Christian.
All right, thank you, Tochiko.